Hello, I'm Colleen Pearl, the Cool Crone, and welcome back to my channel. Today's video is all about the new moon in Leo happening on August 8th. The new moon in Leo occurs on August 8th at 16 degrees Leo, 14 minutes at 9:50 a.m. on the East Coast. On the West Coast of the United States, it occurs at 6:50 a.m. For other places in the world, just go to astroseek.com and type in a schedule for the full and new moons, and you'll get a complete listing of every full and new moon that there's going to be in 2021. Let's talk about what the new moon is good for, how you should use the energies of this new moon. Now, last month I talked about the new moon, but we were talking about the moon in Cancer, which is a water sign. This is the moon in Leo, which is a fire sign, and the energy is going to be very different. Yes, it's still a new moon. You are still going to go within. It's still going to have to do with inner workings, but the energy is going to be slightly different. For one thing, with a new fire moon, you're going to feel much more impetus to start something new. Remember the tarot card Ace of Wands. It's got that big hunk of wood with the little green shoots coming out of it. Those green shoots indicate new growth, the start of something new, new beginnings, right? But the wood itself is representing wands, which are usually torches on fire. And fire is inspiration, it's drama, it's impulsivity, it's moving forward, it's the impulse to move forward. So, like all new moons, you do want to explore your potentials and things that you want to start. Now, does this mean that at every new moon you need to start something completely new? Not really. It gives you the opportunity to start something new, but what you start is entirely up to you. Also, the new moon is a great time to claim important dreams. Think about what you have been wanting and claim it. Claim it for yourself. Tell the universe that that's what you want. Also, notice emotional triggers and tap into emotional issues. Emotions are what inform us about what we really want in life and what we really feel we don't have. For instance, let's use the example of somebody who sees their ex-boyfriend's new romantic partner, okay? So you see this person, and every time you see this person, it just gives you a pang in your heart. You feel negative feelings towards her. You may feel jealousy. You may feel like you don't like her at all. You may feel like she's no good. She's not good for him. There's something about her that you really don't like, but it's an emotional response to that person. It may not be that you really don't like that person. It may be that you haven't resolved your feelings about ending the relationship with him. So think about that. One good way of looking at this is to ask yourself, what is the lesson that I learned from that previous relationship? What did I get out of that relationship? Why was I in that relationship? And what made it so good? In other words, why do I mourn the loss of it? And it doesn't matter how the breakup occurred, really. What matters is acknowledging what was good about the relationship. How did it make you feel in a positive direction? How did you grow? What did you get from it? Did you feel really adored? Did you feel really included in a family, for instance? Those are the things that you miss. It's not that he has a new lover. It's that you don't have that relationship anymore, and that makes you feel bad for some reason. So find out what the lesson was that you were supposed to learn from that relationship. Try to embrace it. That's the thing to begin. Embracing the new, embracing the positive for yourself, not necessarily allowing somebody else's presence to have power over you in a negative way. That's not productive. That's not getting you anywhere. That's not moving you forward on your journey. So the new moon is a great time to examine those emotional triggers and figure out why you feel bad about anything. It doesn't have to be an old relationship, but anything that does give you an emotional response that maybe is a little out of proportion with the actual situation, or maybe doesn't fit the situation. Examine that feeling. This is what friends are for. Friends can help you examine those feelings and help point out to you what is inappropriate as opposed to what is fitting the moment. So rely on your friends. And if you don't have somebody that you can talk to about that, talk to a professional. It's really, really helpful. And it will move you forward and out of that pattern of just blaming people for not feeling good. So this is the kind of work that you can do with a new moon. And that's why I bring it up month after month, that the new moon is a time for new beginnings, but it does mean that you need to clear away the old bad feelings before you can move on to something new. So in this way, every month we get a new moon where we can sweep away the old dark cobwebs and fill it in with something new and bright that really makes us happy. Now let's look at what is the meaning of the moon in Leo. So Leo is a really happy, sunny fire sign, right? The sun is a big, happy ball of fire. The moon in Leo gives you a chance to celebrate yourself. And yes, it's a dark time, right? Dark because there's no moon out there. So there's no brightness. There's no light shining down on you, illuminating what's going on. But the moon is in Leo. And so you've got this solar energy along with the lunar energy. Might make you feel just a little bit crazy, but that's okay. Use that craziness to have fun, to be happy, to exult in life, right? To celebrate yourself. And in celebrating yourself, you want to try to understand what it is about you that is special in the world and celebrate that. I'm an astrologer, I celebrate that. I'm a Libra, I celebrate that. I have blue eyes, I celebrate that. You know, whatever it is, it doesn't have to be earth-shaking. You don't have to save humanity in order to be a special person. Also, how you have fun with others is something that's going to come to light in the new moon in Leo. You need to give yourself, to allow yourself the permission to have fun with others. That may mean having fun with your family or with friends, or just one or two other people sitting and watching a movie and having a few laughs. Enjoy your life under the moon in Leo. That's what Leo is all about, enjoyment. Also, look at what makes you uniquely attractive to other people. That's another big Leo thing, is they like to know that they're attractive. In fact, they know that they're attractive, right? So when the moon is in Leo, it's your chance to feel that Leo energy and acknowledge what is attractive about you. Are you particularly sexy? Do you have a great neck? Do you have beautiful hair? Do you like to flirt? Are you good at flirting? Are you very attractive to the opposite sex? Or do you feel that you're very attractive to the opposite sex? Or are you just a pretty person? Do you just feel like you're pretty? No matter what your age, no matter what your shape, no matter what your size, do you just feel you're pretty? That's the kind of thing too that you can celebrate while the moon is in Leo. And be creative. Leo is also the natural ruler of the 5th house, which is creativity. So indulge in whatever activities make you feel really creative, whether that's just baking cookies with the grandkids, or making pottery, or painting a picture, or dancing in your living room. Whatever makes you feel creative, do it under this moon in Leo. Here we have the chart of the new moon in Leo on August 8th. As you can see, the sun and the moon are right together. That's the definition of the new moon. You can see that Mercury is not far from the sun. In fact, it's only a few degrees away from the sun, which is called Cassimi. Thoughts now tend to burn up. They tend to be a little too hot. So you're going to have a lot of people who are having very, very creative thoughts, moon in Leo, but some of those thoughts may be too hot to handle. They may overload the person. So don't press other people about their creations, the new thoughts, the new ideas that they're coming up with. They may need to wait until the sun and Mercury are separated a little bit before they can really settle into the ideas. Now, the sun and moon are in opposition to Saturn. So Saturn is going to be putting a little bit of a wet blanket on things, but not much. Saturn will be saying, yes, these are great ideas, but we need to plan the execution of these great ideas. And that's okay, because Leo does want their ideas to be sound, to have weight, to be acknowledged, and to be grand and good. And Saturn will provide that foundation for the ideas to be executed in such a way that many, many people can see them and acknowledge them. Now we also have Neptune with Pallas Athena in opposition to Venus. So these energies may change the way people are talking in the media about gossip, actually, because Venus and Mercury is that little information in the hands, and small and meticulous and particular. So you may find that people are putting stories out that are basically gossip that may have no founding in truth, because Neptune is disinformation. Neptune is fantasy and disillusionment or illusion, and fogginess, hiding things. So you may find that there's a lot of kind of tabloid headlines that just aren't true during this new moon period. Now, I'm going to be going in depth for all of the astrological aspects in another video, but I just wanted to point out the chart of the new moon so you could sort of see the backdrop of what's going to be happening. Let's take a look at each of the signs, starting with the fire signs. We're starting with the fire signs because the new moon is in Leo, and that's a fire sign. But I'm going to start with the first fire sign, which is Aries. Aries, this new moon is going to fall into your 5th house, which is the natural house for Leo. So you're going to be having fun during this new moon. Most likely the Saturn influence means that you will be dealing with people that you're responsible for. So hopefully this will be a very positive time of Saturn in opposition to the moon and the sun. Happiness for you is being with your family, being with children, being with those you love, but also having fun, taking a few risks, maybe playing some sports, or maybe going to sporting events. There's also a chance you might be going to some places like a carnival or a fair, or going to the beach. Things where fire sign activities can take place, like being out in the sun or having a bonfire on the beach, or competitive sports activities, either watching or participating in them, things that you can take children to, things that you could take a lover to. You may be indulging in a love affair under the new moon in Leo. You may be starting a love affair under the new moon in Leo, because the 5th house absolutely rules love affairs. If it's a love affair that is behind somebody's back, it's probably more scintillating to you. I'm not going to encourage that, but it is possible that that's the kind of thing that could happen under a new moon in Leo, which falls in your 5th house. Leo, this is your new moon, and you are only getting one this year, so make sure you make the most of it. This new moon, the combination of the sun and the moon, is going to fall in your 1st house. So it most likely is going to help you make big plans for the upcoming months, maybe the next 6 months. And also it may have an impact on the way you look. You may decide to change your wardrobe, change your hairstyle, get a new piercing, get new colored contacts, maybe have surgery. In some way, you're changing the look of you, of your brand, under this new moon in Leo. Or this would be a good time to make those changes rather than making them when the moon is in Aquarius, which is in your 7th house sign, which would mean that your partner would have more to say about the way you're looking than you are. And I doubt you want to let that go, Leo. If you're making plans for big changes for something in your life, say that you are the figurehead of your business and you're making big plans to change the way you show the business to the world, in other words, change the brand of that business, that may take a while to be realized, and that may come about and be shown to you over the course of the next 6 months and culminate when the full moon occurs in Leo itself, which will be in the time of Aquarius, so sometime around end of January, beginning of February. All right, on to Sagittarius. Sagittarius, this full moon is going to occur in your 9th house. So that's a very happy place for you. You love everything to do with the 9th house. It has to do with travel. It has to do with foreign countries, foreign cultures, religions, philosophies, the legal industry, the publishing industry, and what else? Legal matters, in-laws, things like that. So during this new moon, you may be planning a trip. You may be planning a course of study. You may be actually in a course of study and excelling at that, or taking exams having to do with that course of study. And the course of study most likely would have to do with something foreign, something not of your native upbringing. Now, the course of study doesn't have to do with foreign cultures, but very likely it will. Or it could have something to do with, say, the internet, which is closely aligned with the 9th house because of social media. Social media is definitely ruled by the 9th house. So things in your cosmos that have to do with social media, learning foreign countries, writing things, especially about writing things, Sagittarius, these all would be well started under the new moon in Leo. It's just going to give you a big burst of creativity, a lot of confidence, and maybe help you make your mark in that area. Now on to the earth signs. Taurus is our first earth sign, and Taurus, you have this new moon in your 4th house. So most likely there is something that you are planning that has to do with your actual home or the real estate that the home is on. Or you may own multiple homes and you may be thinking about changing something about those homes. You may be investing money in purchasing furniture or doing upgrades to some aspect of your home, like the electrical system, or perhaps you are building on to the home, adding another addition. Perhaps you're buying a new home, perhaps you're selling a home. Something to do with changes in your home is what you're going to be focusing on during this Leo new moon. Now keep in mind, Taurus, you're a fixed sign, and this new moon in Leo is also in a fixed sign. So if you come to disagreements with people, because you are going to have Saturn opposing this new moon for you. The Saturn person is probably, I'm not going to say they're right, but they are going to have some valid concerns that you should pay attention to. So be careful of being too stubborn when it comes to making these decisions. On to Virgo. Virgo, this new moon is going to be in your 12th house. So this new moon is going to be affecting your subconscious, your dreams, even ideations of self-sabotage. So be a little careful during this new moon. Make sure you take it to heart, the things that I've said in the beginning of this video about celebrating yourself. Don't let yourself self-sabotage. Don't let yourself get fixated on negative events of your past, and pay attention to those emotional triggers. That's going to be very, very important for you, Virgo. And I don't want you to have a bummer of a new moon in Leo. New moon in Leo should be glorious for everybody, including you. On to Capricorn. Capricorn, you are going to experience the Leo new moon in your 8th house, where it has to do mainly with other people's money, but also with sex, death, transformation, taxes, other people's large sums of money. Usually this is money that has to do with your partner or spouse. So for you, you may be looking at your retirement funds, at mutual funds, at mortgages, at 401ks, at investments, things like that, and deciding that you need to make changes or rearrange things in some way. Or you may be adding on to the portfolio that you already have. When it comes to things having to do with your partner, you may be experiencing a shift in the relationship, a shift in the power dynamics of the relationship primarily, because we tend to look at relationships and see that the person who makes the most money or who has command of the most money has more power in the relationship. So you may be hard at work changing that dynamic so that it's more equal. And now on to the air signs. Gemini, this new moon is taking place in your third house. So this is a very creative moon for you, Gemini. This is the moon where you will be able to get the idea for that new book, get the idea for the next website, the next blog, the next YouTube channel, the next network. You're just bursting with ideas during this new moon, and you can't wait to get them on the boards and get them executed. You also may be very, very busy with things having to do with your daily routine, your daily travel, the people in your daily circle. So your neighbors, when you get up in the morning and get ready for work and you go and you buy a cup of coffee or get that bagel before you go to work, all the people that you come in contact with, those daily minor transactions, those are the things that you're going to be really focusing on. Maybe that's the subject of your new book. Maybe there's a great whodunit that has to do with the guy at Dunkin' Donuts who seems so nice. So Gemini, you're really going to enjoy this new moon. It's going to spark a lot of thinking for you. Just be careful of that Cassini Mercury. Don't let yourself get literally burnt out on just focusing on this. Make sure you take time to, stop and eat and shave and things like that. Don't let yourself get so locked in a closet with all your ideas that you shut out the world. It's very important that you continue on in your normal daily routine. And the next sign up is Libra. Libra, this new moon is in your 11th house for friends, hopes, and wishes. So I'm hoping for you that you will maybe find a new group to join, a group of people that will be like-minded, that will make you feel welcome and a part of them, sort of like another family. The Leo new moon is so creative and so warm. I'm hoping that they'll really appreciate all the social niceties that you bring to the table, all the charm and the diplomatic abilities that you bring. And I hope that perhaps you can even rise to a level of leadership within this group. At any rate, it's going to be a very fulfilling social engagement for you, and that's something that you always enjoy. Aquarius rising. This new moon for you, Aquarius, is happening in your 7th house. So this is going to affect your partner a great deal. So make sure that you are paying attention to your partner. Maybe you guys are planning to renew your vows or take a second honeymoon or just be with each other more. The relationship is really, really on focus. Now, you may have more than one very meaningful relationship. You may have a business partner and you may have a spouse. So you're going to have to split your energy between them, Aquarius, which I'm sure you can do with no trouble at all. The 7th house has to do with open enemies as well. So be careful at this time, Aquarius, that Saturn in Aquarius, which is in your 1st house right now, is not giving you a problem. That very much indicates that there could be somebody who does not have your best interests at heart, who is trying to, in somewhat, maybe not sabotage, maybe that's too strong of a word, but somewhat put a wet blanket on your partnerships or your marriage. So be aware of that. And they may not be wrong in some of their assessments about your relationship. Make sure that you stand up for you and your partner and rectify anything that needs to be rectified. On to the water signs. First water sign is Cancer. Cancer, this new moon is happening in your 2nd house for resources and values. I like to think of the 2nd house as the house of streams of income as well. In the 2nd house, we generate our streams of income, whether that be from a job or some sort of a pension or some other kind of payout that we get on a regular basis. You may have an Etsy shop. You may do Airbnb. You may be a freelancer. You may be a contract worker. So it's not necessarily just the streams of income from a job, but it could be the streams of income from anything. So Cancer, with this new moon in Leo in your 2nd house, you are going to be bursting with creativity and joy about creating new income streams. And those income streams may have to do with things that you're not normally known for. Cancer is normally known for things having to do with food in the food industry, things having to do with healthcare in terms of certain areas of the body that are ruled by Cancer, such as the breasts. You may be more well known for nurturing, for doing like childcare or teaching or something like that. But with the second house, Leo, you're really, really focusing on creative things. Are you artistic? Do you have some sort of blog that you write? Are you a writer? Are you a singer? Are you a musician? Are you a fine artist? Are you a decorator? Are you a landscape artist? Are you an architect? There's all sorts of different creative things that you could be, Cancer. The point is that during this new moon in Leo, I want you to dig into your soul and figure out what would really make you feel great about creating, and create that. So whatever it is, Cancer, the new moon in Leo is the time to really dig down and get into what that creation is going to be. Next is Scorpio. Scorpio, this new moon is going to be in your 10th house, which I know you're not sad to see. Scorpio, as I said last month, every year you get a new moon in Leo that falls in your 10th house. So this is the time of year where you really, really excel in your career. You get accolades of some kind, you may get a promotion of some kind, you may get a monetary reward, but this is a new moon with both the sun and the moon, not just one or the other. And so the point is here, not only will you be lauded and given some sort of reward, but the public will see that reward because the moon represents the public in the 10th house. The public will see this reward and really appreciate you for it. So Scorpio, although you're usually known as a person that likes to be in the shadows, in the dark, keeping secrets, manipulating everybody, I don't think that's true. I think a lot of Scorpios have a big ego and just love to get that adulation from the public. So I think you're going to have a great time on this new moon. Also, this new moon is going to give you a great boost in your creativity where it concerns your career and the public. So make use of this information. If you're needing to innovate, to create new work areas, new lines of business, new products, new connections, this is the time to do it during the Leo new moon. And now Pisces. Pisces, this new moon is falling in your 6th house, which has to do with jobs, the people we work with in jobs, and our health, and also our pets. So I'm going to say to you that something wonderful is going to be happening at your job or with people that you work with. It could be that new people are coming into your work. It could be that you are hiring, which is really big right now. Everybody's trying to get a job and lots of people are hiring. You could get a new pet in your family, but don't forget about that Saturn lying across the sky in Aquarius. So you could find it difficult to execute what you want to execute on the job, and you could find that new people need to be brought in order to execute your plan. So don't rule that out, Pisces. A lot of Pisces that I know happen to be in positions of authority. So Pisces is not always the big victim that everybody thinks they are. Very often they're quite good at business. And I think a lot of it is down to their intuition and their ability to follow it. So follow your intuition, use the creativity of this new Leo moon in order to create whatever needs to be creative in your work life. Perhaps you need to create a new position. Perhaps you need to create a new department, or perhaps you need to rearrange and shuffle people around into a new configuration. It's down to you, Pisces. Your creativity is what's going to be relied on to make your job a better place to be. So that's all 12 of the astrological signs. I'm so glad that you joined me for this. Please leave me comments down below and let me know what you think about the readings. Let me know how they hit you. Let me know if they're coming true for you. And be aware that I just love doing these videos. I just love getting comments from all of you. This has been the astrology for the new moon on August 8th. Thank you so much for watching.